Hello, everybody. Welcome to this Crystallize product update live stream. My name is Bård, and together with me I have Vasil, which is the lead front-end developer here at Crystallize. Focus today is on new capability that we added to our asset organizer, DAM, as many people also refer to it as. And basically, it's around visual shopping. That's the goal of the feature, which is basically allowing you to semantically connect products, but also other items in Crystallize directly to images. So for more visual type of shopping, where you can say where in an image a specific product is featured. So what you see here is one example of an end goal of the feature, where you basically have shoppable images, and you can buy everything in the image, in this case, as a bundle. That's one example of an implementation of this. So quite handy if you want to build shopping experiences that are not just browsing categories, filtering, searching, things like this, but being inspired by a style, a look, if it's fashion, or it could also be informational, to kind of revisit our Hello World example, which is always about food. You can imagine a picture where you have some chefs cooking a dish, you have some produce. Maybe you can have the information about the recipe, information about the bios of the chefs and the products. So you can really create different types of experiences there. But enough talking from me. Let's have a look at how this works, Vasil. So I'll put your screen on here, and let's.
Start on it. Great. Hello, everyone. So kind of to take over where Bård left here, kind of making this shoppo experience, right, of different items and how we can achieve that. So what Bård showed you was kind of this nice room with different things that you can pick up from. What I have here on my screen is slightly different, but kind of goes into the same direction. So let me set here first the scene so you can get to know what we are looking at. Imagine here this, what you see on my screen is a tenant for a small e-shop that is selling bicycles. And what is interesting about this e-shop, right, is that they have one model of bicycle, but that bicycle may come in different colors, kind of different frame colors, right? It may come with different grips and saddle color, for example. It may have or may not have like a front rack, rear rack, leather backs. There are kind of different combinations between these items. So then in the end, the bicycle that you're seeing on my screen here becomes a product that is a combination of different products put together. So
and also to be clear here, what we're actually seeing is this is not a product page, this is an asset editing page in Crystallize, right? So this is an image where you have different properties, but you have the alt text, you have the caption, and you can also see that it's actually used already in a product, this item here. But so this is also reuse of assets across, but what we're going to focus on now is the new showcases, as we call it, right?
Yes, exactly. And as Bård said, this is really just kind of our internal Crystallize place where you can set your assets. And cool. So the bicycle here is really like just a bundle of a lot of small products. So what about if now we want to kind of point to different parts of the image, and then we can give this additional information about like what is the frame color, what are the grips, saddle, and all of that, right? And this can be now easily achieved with the new feature that we are introducing, and these are the showcases. So here on the single asset page where you can manage the assets, right? If we scroll a little bit down, you see this one new section that we added. It's called showcases. So let's see what is actually a showcase. So if I add one showcase here, as you can see here, there are 3 different fields that we can set for a single showcase. But let me start with the hotspot. So what is the hotspot? Hotspot is this one single place on the image where we want to point this showcase, right? So I'm going to add a showcase here. And the first showcase here that I'm going to add is going to be for the frame. And let's say this going to point to the frame, and then we can add actually item relation to this point on the image. The way that you can do that is by clicking this add relation button. And what happens right away, we slide in the catalog on the site, which allows you to use the catalog items in the very known kind of crystallized pattern where you drag and drop. So let's say that we want to describe the frame. So this is bicycle, speed curve, and then I want to add actually SQ here. So I'll click on the SQ, and then I'll drag the bicycle, right? And this bicycle in particular is the Midsummer Black. I'll just choose that one. So this is our first showcase that gives information about the frame. Let's add another showcase. This showcase will be a showcase for the grip. So I'll put one here where is the grip. And we're going to add again SQ relation. So this time I'll go to the options, grips, and then I'll just drag this over on the side.
And also, just to interrupt you, but in terms of this, because we have the item relation and SKU relation, many of you are probably familiar, but because this here is one product with 5 different variants, which is color combinations of the grips. And since we just want to specify exactly which variant, this is why you use the SKU relation, right?
Yeah. That's a good addition there.
Then I understood it.
Yeah. So these are the SKUs that you can use, but of course, if you have like item relations, you can easily just drag the full item there as well. Cool. So to continue on this one here, we have this the leather grip cognac, and then I'll choose that one. And we will add one showcase more. Of course, you can add as many showcases as you want, whatever it makes sense for you. But for our use case here, we can add one more for the setup. So I'll just again move the showcase to the setup, and then add SKU relation for the setup. Again, we have just one item here with different SKUs, kind of similar to the grips, where I'll just choose the cognac one. Cool. So, and I'll go save this now. So let me also close this. So what you see here in the end is our assets, which has like a few different showcases pointing to different parts of the image, and then we have relations to these parts. So let's see how actually this can look on the front page of the small eShop that I mentioned earlier. So I'll go on this side. And what you see here is kind of the front page of the eShop I mentioned earlier, with a few different bicycles that are already set. But the first one here on the screen is the one that actually we just configured, right? And the spots that you see here on the screen are actually the showcases pointing to different items. So what we did here, we took that showcase information, and then when you hover over one of these dots, you get information of like actually what is this part of the bicycle, right? So these are the grips, and we also provide like information about the price. And this goes the same for the other items.
Just thinking, so what you're saying, so this is kind of like a composed product that consists of different products altogether, right? So you have the bike itself, which defines the color and the main features, and then you have the grip, because I saw you had prices for both the grip and the saddle as separate products. So this is that particular configuration. That's what we're seeing, and you did all of that just in the image itself. So in the marketing banner of, let's say, that particular configuration. That's neat. That's neat.
Exactly, and that's as easy as that, kind of to make these relations and then put them on the page. And as you can see, this one here at the top, the clean blue, for example, even has more details than the one that we just said. For example, the rear rack over here, the front rack, the rear rack, leather bag, and kind of a lot of different items that we can build these showcases for. And there are different combinations, as I said, kind of one single model, but with a lot of different combinations between grips and saddle and covers. So this is what the eShop is offering. But one additional thing maybe that is also interesting here, what the showcases can be used for. Since we know what are the kind of the items or the SKUs that are compose this bicycle, right? Then we can actually build in, let's say, URLs which give us all the information of actually what's this particular model. So if you take a look, for example, in this pretty pink bicycle, we know like what is the cover, we know what the cover for the grips. Then we can build a URL that will actually take us to exactly this specific combination of the bicycle. And here maybe I'm going to show like a small sneak peek of what is coming actually next week about product configuration. But so if you click on this bicycle, what happens actually, as we said, we have all the SKUs of the items that compose this item in the URL, and then based on that, we define our bicycle. And what we can do from here, actually, we can look at this beautiful bicycle, right, and get kind of zoom in and go into more details to see how different parts are set. Isn't this amazing?
It's pretty cool. This is a model that is optimized by one of our partners, Sharpstar, Swedish company that focuses on 3D models, viewers, augmented reality, and such. So, but more about that next week when we're talking about the product configurator part of this.
Yeah, not revealing anything more, but yeah, into this beautiful thing. Yeah.
So that's beautiful, and of course, then here you see a lot of hotspots on the images. Maybe you want to make another type of user experience. Maybe you want to fade in dots when you're hovering, things like this. All of that is, of course, all front end and design decisions. But the cool thing here is that you actually can associate an image, whatever type of image, without having it necessarily in a product itself, and then link up multiple products. So yet another way to organize, and this is what we're talking about a lot in Crystallize: a catalog organizer, grid organizer, topic organizer, and now we can also organize products and items directly in assets. And with assets, we mean images. But yeah, it's a common term for files and videos and images in Crystallize. Yeah. This is pretty cool. Taking over a little bit on my screen, Vasil, I want to show kind of what I mentioned in the beginning with not just products. Because one thing is, yes, this is beautiful for e-commerce experiences, but in more content-driven experiences, you can imagine you have an image here, quite a lot of things happening, and what you can do is, of course, add multiple showcases. And for us, in this case, we kind of have divided it into, I guess it's 4 different types of showcases, where we focus a little bit on so this is an image where you're cooking, I'm not sure if it's called cooking pizza, but in this case we are actually cooking pizza, pepperoni pizza. So you have some tomatoes that are positioned, you have some more tomatoes, and you have some canned tomatoes because you need to have tomatoes. We have some basil, which I'm not sure if it's actually on the pizza. But you also have the rolling pin here as an accessory or tool. What do you call it? Basically, the rolling pin that is. Well, I guess you shouldn't use a rolling pin when you're making pizza these days, but in the old days, you want to make it as flat as possible. But so those are products, right? So you have the kind of the cookware that is required to make the dish, and then you have the ingredients. At least some of them I've added. But you can also have more information. Like, okay, here I have a showcase of the chef, and maybe I'll add another showcase here where, surprise, surprise, we might have another chef.
So we can use this to give some additional information about the chef, like bio and like what he likes to use for cooking and so on.
Exactly. So you can link up not only products, you can link it up in a semantic setting. So it could be, let's say you have a hardware product, multiple parts. It could be an exploded view and how to service this part, how to service the brakes, instruction manuals and kind of post-sales information if we're talking e-commerce, how to maintain and how to use it. Or as we can take a look at here, we can see, okay, let's add the recipe itself also. And maybe in this context, we won't add a hotspot because we have it here as a relation to the image, but we don't necessarily want to place it a particular place in the image because, well, is it on that part or is it on the pepperoni, which is not yet placed on the pizza? So you don't have to have it placed in a coordinate in the image. So this allows for different types of storytelling when you're presenting products, documentation, informational content.
And maybe here is a good place, I'm sorry, Bort, to mention also that we can add additional metadata to each of these showcases. So, for example, we can specify the type of the item that we're adding to the showcase. Like as you mentioned earlier, like is it the product, is it the chef, like is it the recipe? If this meta information is needed when we are displaying the showcases later, we can add it per showcase. I think this is also very powerful.
Yeah. So, and exactly, and this is something you can do programmatically or you can do it editorially. You can use this then in the front end to do magic, right? Create a different type of experience. So this is the showcases. It's part of the standard asset organizer in Crystallize. So whenever you're managing an image, you can now also add showcases. And of course, this allows for the types of customer experiences that we've showcased today, pun intended, right? So take it for a spin. It's available in let's say a Crystallize tenant near you. You can, if you haven't already checked out, you can sign up. There's even a generous free tier that you can use to check out all the features of the service. We're also on Slack, so we have a Slack community. You can reach me, Vasil, and the rest of the team there for further questions and information. And I guess we'll end on what we're planning to do next week, Vasil.
Yeah. As I showed like a little sneak peek of the product configurator. So next week we're going to talk about how we can set this product in Crystallize, and then how we can look into this model viewer with different combinations between items that can just be reflected on the screen right away.
Perfect. On that note, I think we'll just end and see you next week. Have a good one.
Bye.